Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Checkerboard Chat. I'm Trenton Duffer. That's Rob Harvey. I'm a little sick today, so if you hear me like dying over here in the corner, like don't worry. I promise I'll be all right. Rob, how are you feeling after last night?
I'm good. Long night, but I'm good.
It was a long night. A lot of our projections were completely thrown out the window.
No kidding.
Very tough game to watch. I know I had contemplated, maybe Tennessee wins, or if Alabama wins, it'll be 34-29. I think you picked Alabama to win.
You mean Tennessee?
Or Tennessee.
Yeah, I picked Tennessee to win.
And so,
good job, Rob.
Good job, Rob. Really, hashtag good job, Rob.
Tweet that out.
Tweet it out. Hashtag good job, Rob.
We're gonna make it a thing.
So, I guess just the first question. What went wrong?
Well, I think everything went wrong.
Everything.
But it's not really.
Yeah.
It's their fault. But at the same time, when you have 4 offensive linemen who aren't playing, you have 6 defensive starters, you have 3 freshmen in the game at offensive line. It was just.
Yeah.
They were. One of the best defenses in the nation. It was set up for. Especially when Kendrick went down and then Chance Hall. I'm pretty sure Chance Hall got benched. I think because the first 3 third downs, he either a sack, 2 sacks, and a pick 6. And so, that's not going to happen. Butch is going. I think Butch just took him out of the game and played Marcus Tatum the whole rest of the game.
Yeah, it was ugly, and at the linebacker position, the Vols are missing Jalen Reeves-Maben, Darren Kirkland Jr., Cortez McDowell, Cortez Sapp. Am I leaving anybody out? That's 4 linebackers that you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Colton Jumper he's played good.
He was kind of set back. He only had 3 tackles, but it wasn't
yeah.
I don't know. Elliot Berry, people were like, oh, he had 9 tackles, 2 for loss. But at the same time, those runs up the middle with Hurts, he was supposed to be there every time.
Yeah.
He didn't play bad, but you could definitely tell they were missing those guys who you just named that were injured.
Yeah, this is the most injuries I've ever seen on a team.
Same here. It's just ridiculous. I just don't understand how it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
And I saw some people on social media said something about the Vols need to get rid of their strength and conditioning coach. And
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it's just kind of freak things if you watch them. I don't think there's anything like that the strength. Because, if you look at the conditioning, these last – except for that game yesterday, they have been the stronger team coming down the stretch, and that's because they have been they're fresher, and it's because of the conditioning. So I think that's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I don't see how the strength and conditioning coach is getting the blame for these injuries. But what Butch said last night, how usually with injuries they impact one position, maybe 2 positions, but it just seems that everything is just lacking. The secondary with no Cam Sutton, no Malik Foreman last night, no who else are we thinking? Who else are we missing?
In the secondary, I think that's it.
Is that it in the secondary?
Yeah.
Balin Buchanan got banged up, didn't he? And then
no, he was just bad. He was just really bad. Yeah,
I
think
after we sung praises,
I think the comparisons of Sutton kind of went out the window yesterday because he got twice on 2 touchdowns. He got blocked 35 yards down the field and could do nothing about it.
Yeah,
and I'm stunned they didn't take him out of the game. They kept him in the game, and I was stunned by that.
I think it was Hurts' first touchdown where that receiver for Alabama just picked up Buchanan and just took him for a ride.
Yeah, it was bad. It happened twice on Hurts' touchdown runs.
Yeah.
It was bad.
And I know they said Micah Abernathy.
Abernathy got hurt again.
Yeah,
he got hurt chasing. Well, he was already in a boot all week, and he was the week in the Texas A&M game. But then when he was trying to chase Scarborough down the field, he pulled his hammy. I think he kind of let up. It looked like he was going to get him, and then you kind of see him jerk, and he let up.
Yeah, and then Malik Foreman, no real word on what happened to him.
I think it's his shoulder, maybe. I'm not sure. I think he might have hurt his shoulder. I think what happened was he got hurt in that A&M game, and then he came back in, but I think he was not healthy.
So that's just the defense, and of course Danny O'Brien has been dismissed from the team. So you're missing that piece. Khalil McKenzie got hurt.
Yeah, I don't know how good. It doesn't look good with him either because he was holding his shoulder and he was in street clothes and was like holding his arm just to him the whole second half, so it didn't look good with him.
And SEC Country, I actually read this morning. SEC Country's reporting that he's out for the year.
Yeah, I saw somebody say he like tore his pectoral muscle or something.
Which if he is, then you've got to wonder.
If he is, when you see Kyle Phillips out there having to play defensive tackle, he's a defensive end.
When you see Joey Cave out there. Joey Cave was out there.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, they said he was on the sidelines. He ready to get in the game if needed. He was not out on the field.
I got you.
They had Quade Piquet out there though, who ended up picking up that fumble against Barnett for that Barnett sack.
That was a good play. He's actually not that bad.
Who, Quade Piquet? Well, I mean,
he's not great, but he's not the one.
All right, well, I'll reserve my judgment on that. When you're in the game for a lot of time and your defense goes up over 300 yards of rushing, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I know, and he was like second, third string.
Exactly. I mean, and there's a reason for that. Like, I'm not saying he's bad or anything. I'm just not saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then on the offensive side, you mentioned the offensive line. Receivers have been somewhat healthy. Preston Williams now off the team. Is he officially? He's officially.
Yeah, he got his release.
He's gone for the receivers. Running backs. I mean, other than Hurd last week, running backs have been good. Dobbs has been healthy. Thank goodness for that. Except Dormady though.
No, don't even start with me on this. The man threw one semi-good pass, and
I know. I'm just.
Trenton leans over to me in the press box. Oh, I think you should start.
I just said that to bug you.
Yeah, I know you did.
And I know that there are so many people now who are going to start. The Dormady for starter chants are going to start.
No, they
because
won't.
Dobbs had a terrible game.
He did, but I mean that's just one game.
And people jump to extremes really quick in this fan base.
AKA you.
AKA
I think you're the only one who does that.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just say things to bug you because that's more fun than covering the games themselves is bugging you up in the press box.
Golly. All right, but anyway, back to the game. I think there wasn't really positive. I think one of the big positives was Derek Barnett, of course. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he's playing like a man on a mission out there.
I mean, he's top 10 pick in the draft next year easily.
For sure. I mean,
he made Cam Robinson look terrible. And Cam Robinson's supposedly so good, and he made him look absolutely awful.
I know Cam Robinson's been mentioned as like a top 10 pick himself, and Barnett just ran him over. Yeah. Barnett, I think, is the best player Tennessee's had in the draft since Eric Berry.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
I mean, maybe even better. I won't say better.
No, he is
Berry
not
yet.
Eric Berry.
I won't.
They're different positions. So, I mean, you can't really go by that. Yeah,
hard to judge.
Yeah.
But they both bring leadership, and they're both really not that outspoken. I mean, Barry.
No, I know Derek Barnett definitely isn't. I mean, Barry has been a little just because of his
cancer.
His cancer.
Beating cancer, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And if Eric Berry does catch this podcast, maybe he'll send us some free gear.
I mean, I'm sure he does. I don't know why he wouldn't listen. I mean,
this is a great.
What
podcast.
Other things does he have to do? Other than play for the Chiefs.
Covering.
Same with Peyton Manning. What does he have to do now? I mean, he can listen to our podcast. We saw him.
We need to bring Peyton Manning on the show, and if any of you know how to do that, please do that. We would really love to have. If you did, we'd bring you on as a guest as well to talk to Peyton Manning. So it'd be you and Peyton Manning and us two, and that would be amazing.
What a cast of characters that would be.
That would be a good one.
That would be something else. But anyway, the game.
The game, we need to focus on the game. We're on limited time here, so we'll get back to the game. Alabama really just controlled everything from the word go. I know there was after Barnett forced that fumble in the second quarter and Tennessee scored. I was beginning to think, well, maybe the Vols have a comeback in them. Maybe they maybe they pull it close, but it just.
There was just nothing they could do to stop. Alabama was just on a whole nother level than them. I mean, Alabama's on a whole nother level than any team in the NCAA. And I mean, they're definitely the number one ranked team in the nation for a reason, and they showed it. I mean, Jalen Hurts is insane. Like, I've never seen a quarterback that fast. No. I mean, Michael Vick maybe, but that man is so quick. He got around the edge so fast, and I mean, it was ridiculous. They just couldn't stop him no matter what because he's so quick. I mean, he did have some bad passes, but he also had some. He made the passes when he needed to make them, which is what you see with Alabama quarterbacks the past few years with Jake Coker and Blake Sims. I mean, those guys, not necessarily the best quarterbacks, but they make the passes when needed, when they're called upon, and then. their trio of running backs for Bo Scarborough had 5 carries for 114 yards. I mean, that's ridiculous. And Josh Jacobs, apparently it's Josh. They made that clear. Everyone thought it was Joshua, and the Alabama people made it clear it was Josh. And him and Damian Harris both just had great games, and Hurts did too. I mean, it was just overall just a total domination.
It was, and right now, I mean, I'll ask you this. What do you think is more dominant right now, Jalen Hurts and that offense or their defense?
I mean, I'd say Jalen Hurts. I mean, they did give up, and I know it was Ole Miss. They did give up a bunch of points to Ole Miss, 47 points to Ole Miss. And, I mean, I just don't think, like, you can stop those 4 guys running the ball and then trying to figure out. I mean, and it's not like they don't have anybody else. They have Calvin Ridley and Ardarius Stewart and O.J. Howard. Like, those guys are all ridiculous. And so, I mean, it's just kind of there's no weakness on that team.
There really isn't. Like nothing that I've seen. I mean, Tennessee, they had their 50 million plays up the middle, runs up the middle, and I don't want to question Mike DeBoer because I know he has a plan, and I know that like being an offensive coordinator for a team like Tennessee is very difficult. But at the same time, you've got to wonder like, why so many runs up the middle?
Yeah, I didn't really understand that. I mean, I was getting to the point where I'd lean over to you and call the play, and it would be right. And, I mean, it's just kind of – then those runs to the outside that would get negative 2 yards. I mean, it just didn't make a lot of sense. Dobbs barely kept the ball. Yeah. And, I mean, I don't know. I just did not agree with any of the play calling. I just thought it was kind of a poorly called game.
Yeah. And, like, you don't want to run Dobbs up the middle if you're Tennessee. I don't think. I mean, he's tough. But you want to try to get him around that edge.
Dobbs? Yeah. I mean, I think a QB draw was fine.
Yeah, and, like, here and there, it's a good play. But I think if that's all you do, if you're going to QB draw with him, I don't think you put him in the shotgun. I think maybe the pistol, maybe the –
I mean, whenever he's had success running, it's been on QB draws. I mean, the past few years, he scored all those touchdowns on QB draws, or he'd take it up the middle and be gone.
Yeah, but with a team like Alabama, as stacked as they are in the middle.
But, I mean, if you have a good enough offensive line, if your guys aren't hurt, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, and that's another issue is that the offensive line, I mean, they burned Marcus Tatum's red shirt last night.
Because, I mean, they didn't really have a choice.
They had no choice. I mean, and when it gets to that point, you kind of have to abandon those runs up the middle.
Denzel Bulwer and Drew Richmond were on one side of the offensive line. Yeah, that's pretty poor.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about the offensive line at this point. I mean, there's really not much else you can say about it. I mean, it's just struggling, and they've got to band together as a unit if they're going to fix it. But shifting gears, would you have something to say?
No.
You didn't have anything to say?
No,
Good, because we're going to shift gears. So what are your opinions of the first – injuries aside, what are your opinions on the first half of the fall season?
I mean, I thought it went as well as it could. I mean, you say everybody's kind of disappointed by this loss, but I mean, they went 2-2 in a terrible 4-game stretch, and the 2 teams they beat were the SEC East rivals. Like that's the biggest 2 game. I mean, so I think they're still in a great position. They need to get some guys healthy, and I mean, I'm sure Kirkland will probably play South Carolina because he was close to play. I'm sure McDowell will play. I mean, I'm sure they'll have Colton Jumper in the game. I'm sure they'll get. I bet by the South Carolina game, Foreman will be back, Kirkland will be back, McDowell will be back. I bet a couple of the offensive linemen will be back, and so I think they'll be okay. I do. I think they'll win the rest of their games, win out, and I think Florida will lose to. I think Florida will lose to Arkansas, Georgia, and LSU. I think they will lose to all 3 of them.
After Georgia got beat by Vandy?
I still think they will. I don't know. Like, I have a feeling that they do, and I think Tennessee will be rolling with a rematch against Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, I mean go ahead.
I thought they did play the way. I mean, at the end of the first half of the season, they're at the record everyone kind of thought they were going to be at. So I think they played about as well as everybody expected them to.
Yeah, exactly. And if Tennessee wins out, then you're looking at 10-2, which is I think that's what I had. Or maybe I had 10-2, 11-1.
You had 11-1. I had 10-2.
Yeah.
I picked these 2 losses, so I could be perfect.
And I mean, it's not like these are embarrassing. Well, last night was embarrassing.
Last night got to the point where it was embarrassing. They could let it get out of control.
But that A&M game was not embarrassing.
No.
Tennessee fought back and really just they lost a scrappy game against a very, very talented opponent. And next week against Alabama, that Texas A&M Alabama game is going to be incredible to watch.
Excuse me.
But Texas A&M really has to play better than they did against Tennessee if they're going to beat Alabama.
I mean, defensively,
Because-
absolutely. Offensively, they had no problem, but
Yeah.
defensively, yeah, they definitely need
So,
to. Their defense
because-
was bad against Tennessee.
I tell you, Alabama's they've got all the cards right now, and Ole Miss, who spends their entire offseason preparing for them, they gave up that lead, but
They give them a run for their money, yeah.
They
And I mean,
did.
that was a good Chad Kelly game. Chad Kelly has good games, and as you saw,
last
so,
night,
he has bad games as
bad
well.
game.
He played
Yeah.
that fourth down where he tried to keep going and lost the ball. That was pretty bad.
Yeah. What do you think right now is Tennessee's biggest challenge in the second half of the season?
Like
Game-wise.
Game-wise,
Yeah.
South Carolina, just because it's on the road. But I don't really think they're going to have a problem with that because South Carolina can't score.
Yeah.
South Carolina cannot score points. So
No.
I really don't think they'll have a problem with any game the rest of
Yeah.
the season.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell it's a Will Muschamp team. I mean, the defense is fairly
I mean, they're
good,
okay.
but,
They're decent. They held
uh,
Jacob Eason to 29 passing yards,
yeah.
which
which is
Pretty impressive.
Actually, it is pretty impressive.
but he just some of the passes were really bad.
Yeah. I don't know. But if you'd asked me yesterday morning before the game, I'd have said Missouri.
But
But Missouri they let Florida score 40 points.
it was
and-
not even one of those was an onside kick, like they
Yeah.
took it to the house. But still, it was a very
Yeah, and then
bad
one of them
game.
was a pick six,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Or was two of them pick six?
Well, I know Tabor had a pick six.
Oh, Tabor. There's our buddy Tabor.
I'll tease.
Oh, I'd love to have him on the show, too.
That'd be something.
Oh, my gosh. All these people I want on the show. that
He just every time
never-
he started to talk, we'd have to bleep him out every time. It'd be
Probably.
quite something.
Probably. Did you see Quincy Wilson's tweet?
Which one?
He said he had taken a picture of the standings, and Florida's in first. Or the SEC East standings,
Yeah.
I should say. And Florida is in first right now
Right.
with 3-1. And he said something like, would you look at this? Or pretty much just saying, hey, Florida's on the top and
I bet
Tennessee's second. And
I bet Tennessee people ripped him, though.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And even I retweeted. I'm like, Florida wins the first half of the season. Then
they also played one less
Yeah.
game, so
Yeah, so hang on there, Quincy. I mean, in the words of
I think he's getting a little. Yeah, stop right there.
Yeah,
Not
in the
so
words of
fast,
Lee
my
Corso's,
friend.
not so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
so I agree with you. I think Florida does lose to LSU, Arkansas. I don't know about Georgia. I'm a little steamed
All
at
right, we'll
Georgia
see.
right
We'll
now.
see.
We will see. But right now, I think Florida loses to Arkansas and LSU and just gets completely out of the running.
Because I mean, they don't even that Missouri. Missouri's bad. Like
Yeah,
Missouri's really.
Missouri
LSU
is
beat
bad.
them really, really bad. And I mean, Florida barely beat Vanderbilt. Like barely. Which I mean, Vanderbilt beat Georgia, but still, I don't think Vanderbilt's not a good football team.
No.
Kyle Shermer is a. Honestly, excuse me if you're listening, Kyle. I'm sure you're not, but he's a joke of an SEC quarterback. He is.
Yikes.
He is really bad.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
Ralph Webb's fine,
Yeah,
but they can't depend on the run game the whole
Yeah,
time.
They can't, and I'm not saying yikes at you. I'm saying like yikes, he's bad.
Yeah.
He's really
Yeah.
bad. If Vandy had a quarterback, they would be
Because their defense is always pretty good.
Yeah.
Derek Mason is one of those guys like Lane Kiffin, where
Yeah.
he should not be a head coach, but he's good at one. Like Kiffin's good at offense. And Derek Mason is a solid defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've heard the what Johnny Major said about Kiffin.
No, I didn't.
You didn't? So Johnny Major said that if he was an athletic director, he would hire Lane Kiffin as a head coach.
As a head coach, he would. I just
So
don't know. I feel like I mean we've seen how that's worked. At USC, he got off a plane and was fired. So I don't know. I think he's fine as an offensive coordinator.
I mean, he went 8-5 here at Tennessee, but at the same time, like
Got blown out by Virginia Tech in a Chick-fil-A
Yeah.
bowl.
that was rough. I don't think he had a game plan for that game. I think he was focused on California at that time.
Yeah, he probably knew it was coming.
He probably did.
That game was bad in and of itself. I remember I turned that game off. Yeah, but
Yeah.
his mind was probably on Southern Cal.
Yeah, and a lot of fans still are peeved at him for that. And I'm to the point now where I'm just like, whatever.
Give it a rest. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Kiffin didn't doom this program.
Derek Dooley doomed this program.
Derek
yeah.
Dooley is the reason Tennessee's had so much struggles. And
Well, no, Mike Hamilton is for firing Philip
Yeah.
Fulmer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a Bo Pelini deal.
Well, it's what's happening at Georgia right now.
Yeah, and a Mark Richt. It's Mark Richt now.
Yeah.
Mark Richt deal. Yeah, and he's having some success down at Miami, even though they lost to North Carolina last night.
North Carolina's a weird team, though. They'll lose some game they shouldn't, but then they'll win the couple games they shouldn't.
Yeah. I mean, they got destroyed by Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech beat them pretty handily, but then they beat Miami and they beat Florida State. I mean, they're kind of a weird team.
Yeah,
but
they're weird. But I guess to wrap it up here, I mean, it's a bye week. I mean, what do you?
Yeah, I don't know.
This
It's
week,
weird.
man?
Bye week. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so consumed with football. I don't know. I'll probably go home, watch some football.
Yeah.
I think Alabama A&M is going to be an incredible game. Is it at Alabama? Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is.
I think it'll be an incredible game, so I'll probably just go home and watch that. What about you?
I'm gonna go spend time with my girlfriend. I'll laugh at it all you want. It's been a while.
Maybe we can have her on the show.
Ooh.
Maybe we can read off some of your Instagram comments on the show in front of y'all, and that'd be something. Let me tell you, if you want some entertainment, go to Trenton's Instagram page and read off his captions with him and his girlfriend. They're grade A entertainment.
I'm a man in love. What can I say?
Oh my gosh! All right, but anyway,
sorry about that. We'll.
This is a little inside joke.
We'll have better info for you next week, hopefully. So thank you guys for watching again. We appreciate all you guys who click and listen to us ramble on about sports and
whatnot. I was about to say,
girlfriend
and
now,
Trenton's girlfriend apparently. Yeah.
And if you're watching this, baby, love you.
Oh.
Just had to finish with that. So we'll see you guys next week for Checkerboard Chat. This is Trenton Duffer. That's Rob Harvey. So have a good one.